What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to episode number 25, quarter of a century mark. Episode number 25 of the Frontline Film Podcast. Got an awesome episode this week. We got a whole bunch of TV shows to talk about that we've been excited for, and then one of our most anticipated of the year movies. We got F1. We were both able to check out F1 this weekend. Um, so very excited to talk about that. Me and you haven't really talked about it like hardly at all. So yeah, excited to dive right into that. We got not really any massive trailers, but two really big pieces of movie news that we're going to start off with. And then we might do a little sports movie draft later in honor of F1. So um, stay tuned for that. But hey, man, how's life?
Oh, great. Great. Just absolutely great. Um, I know you've been traveling in a new area. Look, he's got new background, guys. He's in the big Las Vegas. He lost $1,000 tonight, so no, I'm just kidding. He didn't lose 1,000. But he is in Vegas, so if you're wondering why he has a different background, Cole, you happy to be in Vegas? Excited?
Yeah, dude, first time ever in Vegas for a work event, but our hotel has a casino, and I'm up, man. I'm up.
Love to
First
see
night
that.
in Vegas ever. I'm up. I'm
Yeah,
winning. I'm better than Vegas.
walk away. Walk away while
Um,
you're ahead.
so we'll see what happens tomorrow. But uh, yeah, even though I'm here, this is a massive movie. We definitely both wanted to talk about it, and then obviously the Bear is out, Ironheart's out. We got Stick to talk about. Um, yeah, lots of stuff. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. We can start off with our two big pieces of movie news. Perhaps the biggest piece of movie news this week. Um, Denny Villeneuve, our boy Denny, is going to be directing the next James Bond. Um, this this news was just completely out of left field for me. I know that recently the Bond franchise was bought out by Amazon or like Amazon MGM. And so a lot of people were like really worried about it. You know, it's gonna all Amazon Prime is just gonna make a whole bunch of like spinoffs and things like that. Um, so it was awesome to see this news come. I don't think anybody was expecting that. You know, all I'm thinking about Denny's next, movie is going to be Dune Messiah. I wasn't really even considering him for a director of a Bond movie. But that news came through, and we were both just completely shocked and instantly very excited. Um, yeah, I mean that's huge news. He's a top at least like he's a top three director in Hollywood right now. All time we'll get there. You know, once we finish the Dune trilogy and stuff, but um, as of right now, he's like one of the three best working directors. So huge news for the Bond franchise.
Yeah, this is gonna be, dude. This is like not only because we already love the James Bond movies, and sometimes they can kind of be underwhelming, whether it be the villain or the action or anything like that. But one thing, I think that sometimes that, especially like franchise movies get away from is that like a really good story. I have no doubt that Denis is gonna put together just a incredible story. He's gonna have an incredible villain. He's gonna make James Bond kind of like a really good character, and not to say that he's not already really good. With Daniel Craig being as good as he was and likable as he was, like we'll see who is going to be James Bond, man. There's so many names being thrown out, and I'm very excited to see who they cast. But I know for a fact that Denis is going to make it just like incredible movie. It's going to be an event just like Dune was. And yeah, like you said, he is undoubtedly a top three director in Hollywood right now. I think he and Christopher Nolan have solidified themselves time after time and with strong movies. But Denis, man, I mean, even Doom Part 2, like, is one of the best movies of the decade, maybe of the century, in our opinion. So, yeah, dude, I'm very excited to see where he takes it, who gets cast, who the villain's gonna be, and no, I'm super excited. I couldn't be more excited for the next James Bond movie.
Yep, yep. They got to nail the casting though. I don't know if you saw like the short list of what some Amazon execs wanted. They wanted like it was like Tom Holland and Harris Dickinson and who was it? Jacob Elordi maybe. I don't really love any of those picks. I'm still on team Aaron Taylor Johnson, but I do think they are kind of wanting a younger guy, so he can last a while. I feel like the last couple Bonds have been kind of older,
Yeah.
Daniel Craig, and then Pierce Brosnan was a little bit older as well. So
Yeah.
I think they're kind of wanting to go a younger route. So we'll have to see. I don't really love any of those picks, but
Yeah.
I know Denny. If he's in charge, he'll make the right choice. So
Right.
I trust him. So huge, huge news. Very, very cool. Excited to see more news about that, like as it comes. Um, and then another big, big piece of news this week. We got the very first poster for Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. Gives absolutely nothing away about the movie. It is an extremely simple poster, but it just got me like amped up and freaking hyped for this movie. It was just so simple. It was just like barely you could see the head of a statue of like a Greek mythology statue, and the tagline is "Defy the Gods." Which is just sick. It's just so simple and cool. And we are supposedly getting our first glimpse of it in front of Jurassic World next week. So very excited for that. But the poster got me so we were already amped. The poster got me even more amped. So yeah,
This feels like deja vu to when we got the first Oppenheimer poster. Exact same feeling when we got that and the date of that release. And then, we got the first look at Oppenheimer, which was just basically fire and the raging fire in your ears from the atom bomb. And it was like, I don't know, 10 seconds, but it was already makes us so excited. So I'm very curious to see like how they do kind of like I guess a teaser or first look. But yeah, no, I'm getting deja vu to Oppenheimer because I remember the poster came out about a year out from the movie, and then we got the first look like right after, and then it's gonna be a little while till we get the first like a real official trailer like we did for Oppenheimer, but it just like it holds you over. Like we got the announcement, we got the castings like in slow pieces, then we get the first poster, then we get the first look, and then that'll hold you over until the trailer. But I mean, me and you've already talked about it. This might be movie of the year next year. We're gonna have a very, very strong contender. Like we're gonna have very strong contenders for next year, but like this is going to be towards like the top of a short list of like what films we're gonna say is like the best movie of the year.
yeah. I mean, the fact that this and then Dune Messiah are both scheduled to come out next year, along with Doomsday and the new Spider-Man, like it's just so much.
Right.
But yeah, especially the Odyssey and Dune 3, just unreal. Absolutely cannot wait. I'm still curious. We have not heard any updates yet. I wonder if somebody is going to move that December release date next year,
Yeah.
since both Dune and Doomsday are on the same day.
Yeah.
I feel like it's probably going to be Dune, and that's going to break my heart. But um, we'll just have to see. But yeah, no, awesome, really, really cool poster. I'm very, very excited to see like what it's looking like. I've seen like um, some pictures of like some places that he's been filming. He's been filming in extremely like rare places that have never been filmed in, like these old caves and like areas with the northern lights, and just trying to make his movie look as best as he can. And I just can't wait. I can't
Yeah.
wait. So, yeah, that is the Odyssey. Very, very excited. Next week we'll be able to hopefully talk about that first look. So very, very excited for that. Um, Everybody, if you're going to see the new Jurassic World this week, you should be getting a little teaser. So stay tuned for that. So that's really the only news we had this week. Two pretty big items, but not really any crazy trailers or anything. Um, but we did get a bunch of new TV shows. Got both Ironheart and The Bear, and Squid Game came out as well. I have not started Squid Game yet. I'm going to wait till I finish The Bear and Ironheart first. But yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff coming out. That new show on Amazon, not Amazon, on Apple TV with Taron Egerton called
Yeah.
Smoke.
Smoke.
I didn't get to that either, but a lot of stuff came out, and we're going to talk about Ironheart and the Bear for sure, and then kind of recap Stick as well. So yeah, let's just jump into Ironheart. How much of it did you watch?
So I got through the first episode. Unfortunately, it was my midterms last week, so I was very busy with studying. But no, I watched the first episode because I was very curious. And how many did you get to? You got to the first two?
First two.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, we can kind of give our like initial thoughts because obviously this is gonna be we have the next three, upcoming this week. And then hopefully by the net with all the traveling you're doing, all the traveling I'm doing, hopefully next week we can be done with Ironheart and have like the full recap. But I kind of want to hear your thoughts because I don't think we even like texted about it at all.
No, no. Yeah. So I've only watched first two. I've not watched the third one. It's nothing, just extremely groundbreaking. But I'm enjoying it. I'm not. I don't think there's anything uh just horrible about it. Anything bad. I don't think there's anything necessarily just spectacular about it. But it's perfectly watchable. It's infinitely better than like something like Agatha all along. Um, just very. I mean, it's just very middle ground Marvel. It's very good and grounded so far. I know some like mystical elements get thrown into it soon, but um, yeah, Riri Williams is a very likable. Obviously, she was likable in Wakanda Forever, but it's cool to kind of just mainly focus on her and not her be a side character. Um, I mean, she literally is just like a little child genius, trying to follow in Tony Stark's footsteps. And I will say the effects so far have looked really solid in my opinion. I think the suit, it is so refreshing to see her like actually get in the suit, whether rather than it be nanotech. Um, so a lot of her suiting up scenes are very cool. Scenes of her flying are done very well. Um, the show's also got like some good music because it's set in Chicago. Um, yeah, I don't think anybody else outside of her, and then of course Anthony Ramos. We both love. We absolutely love Anthony Ramos. Very cool to see him kind of in a villain role. I know you really haven't seen too much of him yet because he's not in the first episode a ton, but you spend a little more time with him in the second, and you kind of he's up to some weird stuff. And I still don't entirely know yet, but it's cool to see him in a villain role. I think he's doing a good job. Something different that I've not seen from him. But yeah, I mean, it's nothing groundbreaking, but I think it's like perfectly enjoyable, and I'm definitely excited to finish the rest and talk about it next week.
Yeah, the first episode I thought it was good. Like there was nothing wrong with it. I don't think there was like you said, there was nothing groundbreaking or just like oh wow. But I don't think it was bad by any means. I thought Dominique Thorne is going to be really fun to watch her grow as Riri. I thought she was great in Wakanda Forever, and I just wanted a little bit more of her in that one. Um, like I said, I think I kind of said it the first time we saw the Ironheart trailer. In the comics, and I know Tom Holland Spider-Man is kind of this character to Iron Man in the MCU, but Ironheart is very much involved with Iron Man and Tony Stark in the comics. And I kind of thought that would have been cool to kind of tie in, but I mean, there was no indication that that was even going to be done because of, him dying in the MCU and, Tom Holland being that character. Um, yeah, I agree with you with Anthony Ramos. I actually thought that we were going to see less of him than we initially got because you see him a lot in the first episode. Like he's pretty prominent in the first episode. And then you have the whole like his crew that they're working with. Obviously he's using them to, get more gain than he could do by himself. So I'm interested to see like what kind of strings he's pulling. Oh no, he froze. This is not good. Okay, no, never mind. You're good. Um, but yeah, I overall thought it was good. The effects do look phenomenal. I thought the title screen with her like rolling across the ground and then it pans over and it says Ironheart as she's laying on the ground. I thought that was very very cool. It's nice not seeing a nanotech suit. I think it's, like you said, very refreshing, getting back to that grounded Iron Man suit. So I enjoyed the first episode. It makes me want to watch more, and I definitely will be. Hopefully, I can have it finished by next Sunday when we do our next episode. But no, she's great. She's likable. Anthony Ramos is fine, and Eric Andre being in the MCU is just odd. I can't lie. Seeing him be, a comedic role, which of course we knew he was going to be, it's very odd seeing him in the MCU because I would have never thought that he would be in it. But here we are.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's really not just too much to say about it. But we get the next chunk of episodes here in a couple of days, so definitely, I will finally be home for like a good week with no work, so I'll be able to get caught up on everything and um, yeah, kind of give more in depth review, but also like don't want to spoil since you've only seen the first episode, but the second one they jump into like their first heist and
Yeah,
um, some pretty cool stuff. Um,
I remember in the first episode he wants her to do three heists, right? And then
yeah,
she can, change her mind or whatever. But
yep, yep, and she does. They do one in episode two. So, um, yeah, that's Ironheart. I guess, dude, do we not have like? I guess that's after this, and then we get Fantastic Four. I mean, there's nothing. I don't think until like next year.
well,
Maybe.
I think we have the Eyes of Wakanda show, which is animated, so it's not gonna be like too big.
Yeah.
But I
The
think
Marvel Zombies or something like
yeah,
that.
I think there was one that was supposed to come out kind of towards the end of the year. Wonder Man, maybe that was initially, but I don't think that's supposed to come out at the end of the year anymore. So yeah, no, you're right. We'll have a little bit of a drought, kind of like we did in the 2020
After
three.
Deadpool came out.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but good solid entry so far into the MCU. Excited to see where it goes. So that is Ironheart, and then probably I would say yours and mine one of our most anticipated seasons of TV of the year, as it has been the last couple years. Season 4 of The Bear is out. 4 seasons in 4 years. Very impressive considering how high quality they all are. Um, just unreal that they're able to crank these out every year, and it takes Stranger Things 4 years to um, finish one season. But
Mhm.
that's that's besides the point. So the Bear came out. I've been doing a lot of traveling, so I've not been able to get too far into it. I think I've watched the first three or four. Um, it's just the Bear, man. It's just good stuff. It's everyone's back. The restaurant, of course, is just always having issues. It got bad reviews at the end of last season, and now they're like trying to basically get a star back so that they don't um, lose the restaurant, so that Carmi doesn't lose the restaurant. So they're trying new things. They're bringing new people in to kind of help with their processes. And Carmi's just always stressed, and everyone's always stressed and yelling at each other. And it's just it's just glad to be back with all these people, with old Carmi and Sydney and cousin and all everybody. But yeah, I think I'm only 3 or 4 in. Very solid so far. Really enjoying it. I do remember season 3 was kind of a step down from the first two. Definitely still good. Still better than most other TV that comes out, but it was definitely a step down compared to those first 2 seasons. So I'm really enjoying this season so far. My parents have already finished it. They said they really liked it. They thought it had a great ending. It's getting pretty solid reviews. So yeah, I mean, I think you're a little bit ahead of me. This isn't a very spoilery show. So yeah, what do you think? Well, you're a little further along than I.
Yeah, so yeah, no, you pretty much summed it up. But I feel like there's always, we talk about it with every season. Really every season of television you can point to like episodes that stand out. And I feel like episode like last season when we talk about Tina's episode, and then the spoons, I think it was called, or whatever it was called. Nah, I don't know. And then
Forks.
you get huh?
I think it was called Forks.
Yeah, and then the one with Richie, in season two or season one, I can't remember. But no, it's season two. You get these episodes that like really stand out. Um, and what they did, like right starting off, when you get the interaction with Carmi and his brother, like kind of sitting there, and Carmi is talking about like what he wants to do, like he wants to make a restaurant that's him that people can come to and they can enjoy the food and it has flavor, but at the same time, like it's a good vibe, but that really at the basis of everything, like it's our restaurant, like it's ours. I thought that little conversation with him and his brother was fantastic. I think Bernthal and Jeremy Allen White just do such a good job together as those two characters. And then you have the end of one of the episodes where Richie, they're talking about Richie keeps saying that he needs to be better, like in the kind of the dining area, and he goes, I hired somebody, and everybody's like, well, who did you hire? Who the hell did you hire? And he goes, non-negotiables. And the girl from the other restaurant that kind of trained him up walks in, and she's a badass, and she's very like she knows what she's doing, and she does a good job. I got hyped. I can't lie. It was very cool to see like everybody in the kitchen, getting after it. I thought that was
Yeah,
dope.
and it wasn't just her. It was like
Yeah,
that her whole little squad
yeah,
from that
exactly.
like super famous episode that everyone loves.
Yeah,
They were in the last season, but it's cool that they like finally actually brought them into
right,
their kitchen. So
right. So that was very cool to see. And then episode four, is the one with Sydney, and it's really just Sydney. I thought that episode was fantastic. I thought that it was incredible. She, we get a lot, I think, of background on Carmi and Cousin, and some I mean, Marcus. We had a whole episode about, and Sydney's a really main character, but I don't feel like we got really any whole episodes to just her. And she's with her aunt, right? Or somebody very close to her, best friend, her friend. And she's getting her hair done. She's kind of talking about like, she this new restaurant, the other guy's trying to get her to go to. But the monologue with her at the end where she's cooking the dinner for the daughter, and she's talking about the two houses. I mean, I just thought it was so well done. Kind of going back and forth, and the daughter's kind of acting as comedic relief, but you can really, really tell Sydney is about as torn as you could be from going to the new restaurant as opposed to staying at the Bear. Um, it's incredible, man. Like I thought it was like very good writing, because she's trying to explain it to a child, and the child's giving good insight, man. Like,
did you see who wrote that episode?
yeah, she did. She helped
And
write it.
Marcus, the guy that
Yeah,
plays Marcus. Both of them, they wrote that episode.
it's an incredible episode. It's one of my favorites, probably of the Bear. I'm not gonna say it's better than like Tina's or the one with Richie, but like this one's very good. And I feel like the best episodes we've gotten in the series sometimes are focusing on one
On the
character.
side, on the side characters, yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, no,
no, that episode was
that's what
dope.
this show does so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it has you caring about like Fack and Marcus and even like um what's his sister's name? He calls her Sugar. I can't I can always forget her real name, but like even like her husband and um then you got Jamie Lee Curtis and literally everybody. Like
Yeah.
everybody in this show is likable and you root for and I get excited when I see them on screen going back and forth with each other. And I really can't think of another show that's like that. I mean, other than it's completely different, but like something, some massive show like Game of Thrones or something tackles a bunch of characters really well. But um, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of little small side characters in this show, and all
Yeah.
of them are just done so well and written so well. Um, so this show just really is just top tier. I'm very, very excited to finish it over the course of this next week, and then we can both give a full review of it next week,
Hmm.
kind of with this and Ironheart. But yeah, dude, it is just picking right back up where it left off, and award season next year is just going to be very interesting, at least when it comes to TV. Because
Dude.
you got Severance, you got Andor, you got this, you got the studio.
It's gonna be
I'm sure
very
there,
interesting to
I'm
see,
sure
and
there's some I'm leaving out,
yeah,
but yeah, we love the bear. Very very excited that it is back. It's so cool. Sorry, I'm very jet lagged. It's so cool that they're able to crank out a season a year, man. It's awesome.
yeah.
I mean, we love Severance, obviously, but like that's a 3 year wait for. I think we've gotten almost the entirety of the Bear, the whole show. I think almost all of it, if not maybe just the last 3 seasons, have released in between season 4 and 5 of Stranger Things, which is crazy. Especially it being as good and like high quality as it is. So, um, yep, that's the Bear. Definitely, we will be done with it by next week, and we'll talk more. Did you watch this week's episode of Stick? I actually did not either. It's just been I've been all over the place. I was in Boston, but then I'm also watching the Bear and Ironheart. It just kind of slid under the cracks, but
Yeah.
we will get caught up on Stick. We are enjoying it. It's just hard to literally get to everything, especially with me traveling all over the place. But
Yeah.
with this week, since it's like 4th of July, we got a couple of days off. I'll be able to get caught up. So, um, and then before we jump into our review for F1, um, I wanted to see if you wanted to give some of your brief thoughts on 28 years later.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
The movie I reviewed it last week. Landon had not gotten to it yet, and I wanted to kind of give him a couple minutes to share his thoughts as well. I have not even really talked to you about it. I did see your letterbox score, um, but we didn't. I didn't hear any of your thoughts. You heard all mine last week, and I
Mhm.
know I was definitely in the minority compared to a whole lot of other people, like literally almost everybody else. So I'm curious to see if you're closer to me or closer to them.
Yeah, there were I was really excited about this. It was in my most anticipated top five most anticipated. Love 28 days later. I think it is incredible. 28 weeks later, I don't even think that's bad. I think it's, weaker than the first one, but I still think there's some good moments in it. But no, I was super excited for this one. Obviously the cast is like really really strong. And I'll start there with the cast. I thought the acting was incredible. I thought everybody was good. I don't think there was like I know you said Aaron Taylor Johnson was just fine. I really do like his character. As a dad who is you know, uh, I mean he's got flaws obviously, but he really is proud of his son deep down and wants to be a father figure. But at the same time, like he messes up in this movie obviously, and the kid, I think his name's Alfie. What's his last name? Williams.
Williams
Yeah,
in real life. Yeah.
incredible. I'm very, very impressed with his performance. We have some newcomers that have just lit it up as soon as they get on screen with Miles Katan and Sinners, and then we have the kid from Adolescence, and then now we have Alfie here in 28 years. It is incredible. Um, Ray Fiennes, in the little part that he's in is really good, and then Jodie Comer is also very, very good. So I thought the zombies looked amazing. I thought they looked incredible. They are terrifying, man. Like those are some scary zombies. I would not want to be in that universe. If I got put into a zombie universe and saw it was that one, I'd probably take my life pretty quick because there'd be no way that I'm surviving. And then. Yeah, so I'll try to make this, kind of quick, but you kind of harped on the iPhone filming thing, and there are some parts that I think were a little bit, chaotic, and you couldn't really see what's going on. Now, for me, I did not mind it. I thought it was fine. I liked the way the cameras looked for the majority of this film. Um, and the shots that where the zombies are dying and they go around,
The kill shots or whatever. Yeah.
dude, holy crap. Like that is just awesome. Awesome. It's cool. I don't care what anyone says. Like I haven't seen anything bad about it, but if you don't like it, you're weird because that's cool. I've never seen anything like that. Like I'm trying to think of a movie that did something similar and there's really not one. It looks dope. The my biggest complaint with this is like so the first time that the kid what's his name, Spike, and his dad go to the mainland, I thought is very very good. I loved every bit of that. It's tense, it's chaotic, and then the scene with him running through the water and the alpha chasing him. Bravo, that looked incredible. That is amazing. The next 45 minutes, 50 minutes, whatever it was, I don't think I liked that part. I understand kind of the point of it, but it's kind of just boring. There's not a lot going on. There were some good parts, don't get me wrong, like the part with the fat one kind of crawling up and then you find out that the mom smashes its head in. I was like, dude, this might be going somewhere really good. Um, but no, it really didn't, and it didn't pick back up really until Ray Fiennes comes back into the picture, and it gets deep and emotional. Like the mom has cancer, and there's no saving her, and he obviously like kills her, and then puts her whatever, and does the skull, which is fine, whatever. And then the last, oh my God, the 5 minutes with, I'm glad, yeah. So I understand what you're trying to tell me now with Jack O'Connell or Connor, whatever his name is. Yeah, what the hell was that? It was odd. It was kind of fun. It was absolutely hilarious, and it's insane. I saw someone tweeted the next movie is like the last 5 minutes. We're in for a treat for the next one. I'm very curious to see where they go with that because it was absolutely absurd. What there were people flying around and it
Like
was
Power
very
Rangers.
yeah, literally. It was violent and yeah, I don't even have words for it. I still tried to process it for about 2 hours after. I'm like, what? I watched a different movie at the end
And
and
then the
something else
fact that
played.
it was the kid from the very beginning of the movie as well.
Yeah. So, yeah. I don't really have anything to say about the last whatever minutes. That was insane. So, but no. I
Would
gave
you
it
rate it?
3.5 stars on Letterboxd. I think I settled at a 7.3. I thought there were some very, very, very strong parts of this movie. I think the middle 45 minutes, even though it looked good and there were some great action sequences,
Very
I
boring.
just thought it was kind of overall just kind of boring. But that doesn't mean that like the rest of the movie was boring. I thought there were some very strong parts to this movie. The first 45 minutes is very good. The acting is incredible. It looks incredible. There's some cool action shots. But yeah, no. 3.5 stars, 7.3. I'm happy with that. Kind of expected a little more based on the reviews, but it'll be all right.
Yep. It's okay. It's okay. I was at 7-1 as well, so we're right around the same boat there. So yeah, that's Landon's thoughts on 28 years later, and now we're gonna jump into our review for F1. All right. So now it is time for our review of F1. And as you can all see, we have a special guest.
Greetings.
He's under me. He's under me on my screen.
He's right here for me.
We have Avery. We have Landon's little brother Avery, who's going to be reviewing F1 with us. I would say out of the three of us, Avery is the biggest F1 fan. He is the one that got both me and Landon into F1. So we thought it would just be perfect to have him on for this. So we're gonna talk F1 with Avery, and then we're also gonna do a sports movie draft with the three of us. So yeah, let's just jump right into F1. Avery, how you doing?
I'm doing splendid. How are you all
First
doing on this fine
first ever
evening?
guest. First ever guest. Big milestone for the
Yeah.
channel. But no, what a perfect movie to have you on for. So I'll kind of give a synopsis. If you have not seen the trailer, it's Brad Pitt. He's old, washed up F1 driver, or he just does like other races and stuff like that. And he basically gets an opportunity to come be the second driver for this team in F1 that sucks. The other driver is Damson Idris. I think that's how you pronounce his name. And yeah, it's basically just he joins like midway through the season, and they basically have to win a race, or their team is probably on the chopping block. Um, it's such a very generic, stereotypical like sports movie story, but it's with a sport that we love and that we don't really get to see in movies a lot. So Very cool. And it's Brad Pitt, Damson Idris, Jodie Comer was very solid, Javier Bardem, um, and then of course all the F1 drivers make appearances as well.
Yes,
So
yes.
yes, very cool. Yeah, Landon kind of gives some brief thoughts, and then Avery, you as well.
Yeah, so we actually all three saw this movie in IMAX, which is exactly how this movie was meant to be seen. I gotta say, like first impression, like when we knew this movie was gonna get announced and we knew um we saw the first trailers, my go to like the first thing I wanted to know was how is this movie going to portray the racing? And remember, we're watching F1 every week, the last couple of years where we know Brad Pitt's there and they're filming on track. So we know that it's real. We know that there's like basically no CGI footage. Like this is all happening real time on the track. Man, the camera work is so damn good, man. Like it makes me feel immersed with the driver. Me and Avery were kind of talking about it. Like it feels like when you're watching a race and you have the helmet cam and the cameras that's like over the back of the shoulder. Like it really did feel like I was watching an F1 race in IMAX quality. It is so well shot, dude. It is like so good. Obviously, Hans Zimmer's F1 score is incredible. We didn't expect anything less in this movie. I thought the acting was great across the board. I don't think there's really like usually in a sports movie you'll get like somebody who's like, oh, he wasn't that good, but at least he's like comedic. You have a like high list of very good actors in this movie already, and they all shined. They were all good. And I don't know, man. Like I had such high expectations for this movie, and it basically blew him out of the water. Um, when this movie first got announced, I was very scared that this movie might suck a little bit, whether it be because of the story or be because of the racing's not good enough. There's definitely some nitpicky things, not F1 related, that I know Avery will have, but about the story in general or something that went on. But overall, man, this movie's so good. It's such a fun time. Audiences are loving it. It killed at the box office this weekend, the opening weekend. I mean, guys, like if you love sports movies, if you love Top Gun Maverick, which I know, this is the same guy, go see this movie. Even if it's not in IMAX, you're gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, Avery.
Yeah, I agree. It was a very, very well done movie, I will say. There are only a couple things like I'll say technical wise that I was like, but I mean, the executive producer being Lewis Hamilton, the movie was in good hands from the get-go. He made sure to highlight everything, like the main points that you would see, and things that people who watch not only Formula One but also motorsports. I feel like they did a really good job. The set, like Landon said, the cinematography was beautiful. I loved all the shots on the cars. You had the halo cams, and it would do like basically like a 360 around the car during the races. I loved that. I loved how um throughout the races, there you actually saw like a focus on strategy and managing tires. I thought that was really cool being able to see that. Anybody that says that Joshua Pierce's can I say stuff about the movie? Does that matter?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody that says Joshua Pierce's crash is unrealistic, not true because it's loosely based off of something that actually happened. Granted, not to that extent. I thought it was cool that we kind of got to see some history wrapped into it as well. For those of you that don't know, the crash that ended Brad Pitt's career when he first joined Formula One back in the 90s was an actual crash that occurred. But yeah, overall, I love the movie. I was really worried about me being able to pick out things like, oh, this isn't right, or like blah blah blah. But no, it was a great movie. The technical aspect was honestly my favorite part, focusing on how the cars behave. Really, one of my most favorite parts was when the chief technical director, whatever her name was, I forgot it. I'm sorry. And Sonny, when they're trying to figure out how they can go about bringing about a new upgrade, and Sonny points out this dirty air, like we can't race. It's hard to race behind. But yeah, I mean, it was a great movie. Me being a Formula One head, I loved it. I don't see anybody that's complaining about it. I don't really see where much of that's coming from because I mean it was just a great movie. My only complaint personally was I just wanted more racing in the movie. But I get it, it's a movie. You can't really overload it with it.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree with everything you guys said. I think the first like big, just incredible part of this was the cinematography and the camera work. I feel like in the sport of F1 and then both like in a Drive to Survive as well, like we get a lot of really good like shots already in both the actual races and then in Drive to Survive. But there are even shots in this movie that Joseph Kaczynski is able to pull off that like I feel like I have not seen in either the show or in like in real life in the races. And that just goes to show like his skill as a cameraman and as a director with fast paced stuff, kind of like how he did with Top Gun Maverick. But yeah, there's a couple shots. I'm like, dude, that's sick. Like they don't even it doesn't even look like that in the show. Or so that was very impressive. Yeah, like y'all said, the acting across the board was great. I do have two very, very small cons, but I will get to those in a minute. But overall, dude, like this movie, whether you like F1 or not, this is why you go to the movies. This is like the most like this is the probably the biggest outside of like Mission Impossible. This is like the biggest blockbuster of the summer. Like, but Mission Impossible is a franchise. This is not a franchise, so I feel like it's a little easier, more accessible to people to go see because it's not really connected to anything. It's its own story. Um, so just an unbelievable time at the movies, and the fact that you got Avery, who is a diehard F1 fan, and could be very, very picky on stuff. The fact that he loved it, and then the fact like generic fans that Kobe went and saw it with y'all. Kobe doesn't give a crap about F1, and he had a great time. I think it's very cool that they were able to satisfy both audiences. I think that says a lot. I think, like Avery said, I think with Lewis executive producing, that was very cool. I think he was able to kind of satisfy racing fans' needs, and then yeah, Wilk, I think you mentioned it, dude. The Hans Zimmer score. Oh my god, that score had me fired up the whole movie. I actually listened to the whole thing on my flight today, and then the soundtrack as well. We've
Mm,
been getting a lot of those songs over the last couple months, but hearing them in the movie,
yeah.
I think they all like worked well and fit into the story well. It wasn't just like songs for the sake of songs. It was like they worked. I don't know. So yeah, dude, I had an absolute blast with this. I'll go ahead and give my two little cons, and then y'all can give some cons, and we can do ratings. My biggest con, I'll start with my little con first. My little con was Avery kind of mentioned it. His crash. Not saying his crash was unrealistic, but the fact that like that whole car blew up, and he was able to get out. The crash being one thing, like flipping through the air and crashing, and maybe getting a burst of fire or something. But
Yeah.
like when it shows it in the movie, that whole car blows up with him in it. Like you're not. I don't think you're walking out of that. I
Yeah.
don't know how similar that was to the one that you said that they actually kind of recreated. Um, but I mean, I don't know. I saw that. I legit thought he was dead. I was like, damn, they actually did it. But then they pull him out of the car. I'm like, okay, I don't know. I don't know if he's actually like getting out of that okay. But I'm glad he did because he was awesome, awesome character. Um, and Avery, you can kind of jump into that whenever you give some thoughts. And then my biggest complaint of the whole movie, it was very, very small. I think the generic villain being that like bored guy, he was pointless. He was pointless. I didn't care about his character at all. He was just very like every sports movie you got like the big bad owner guy who's like going to sell the team and try to make money off of it or whatever. He's not in it for the people, he's in it for money. It's just so generic and cliche, and it was boring, and I think it was not needed at all. I think you could just have the fact that like they lose the team if they lose. Um, that would have been enough. I don't think having a character like display that was needed. And every time he was on screen, I was like, this guy's pointless. So those are my only two complaints. Outside of that, dude, I have nothing but praise.
Um, yeah. I kind of with you. I have a little complaint, and a big complaint. I'm not going to go into the one you just said about the villain role. I definitely agree that he was kind of pointless. I don't mind that they were forged or anything like that, but then you like made him a big character all of a sudden for the last race, which is dumb. But
Yep.
I definitely understand. Yeah. Like I said, I don't mind because he had shown up previously in the movie, so it wasn't a new character. But the fact that all of a sudden, oh yeah, by the way, he forged the documents, and then now he's like the main character, he's a main villain for the last race is kind of annoying. But whatever. Little complaint. This is kind of technical, but not really. I kind of looked at Avery. After the movie, and I kind of said like, man, he crashes a lot, which is fine. I know he's reckless and everything like that. I almost wish there wasn't as many crashes and there was kind of other problems with the car, maybe like engine failure or tire problems or DRS not working that cost him, as opposed to just crashing. I feel like that's an easy way out sometimes. Like, oh, he crashes and now like they can't use the car and it's his fault and everything like that. But I feel like because he crashed like what 4 times, 3 or 4 times, and he was out of the
Yeah.
race. Um, so again, I know he's a reckless driver, and they go with the driving angry thing. I just think it's kind of lame when you knew that this car already had problems. So do some engine failure stuff or some car troubles type stuff that they have to work through. I thought that would have been a cooler route than just crashing it. But again, that's nitpicky. I understand. Like, I don't mind that they went to just a lot of crashes for no reason. I feel like. And
Hmm.
then I don't get me wrong, there's like nothing wrong with it. I'm being selfish kind of because I didn't love the ending. The okay, hold on. The ending was not how I wanted it to go, I guess. I was being selfish and I thought he was going to like either stay on the team or kind of be an extra driver. I understand fully that he loves it for the racing. Like he is chasing the winning feeling or the flying feeling that he kind of explains. I was selfish and I kind of I wanted him to like stay with the team and maybe be a mentor to JP and kind of be with the team and everything with what's his name's character, Javier Bardem's character and everything. So look, I understand the reason they went with the ending they did. He wants the adrenaline. He loves racing. It's not about the money. It's not about the trophies. It's not about any of that. But I'm being selfish and I wanted him to stay with the team. That was it. So don't think that I'm like sitting here gonna take off 6 points because of the ending. It's not that. It's just I was being selfish and that's my really like complaint.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. I saw people talking that they could kind of set up for a sequel, but it not be like an F1. He would go on to race the Baja, which is a pretty big deal as well. Um, yeah, kind of going off of what Cole said about the crash. The crash that they replicated to a sense wasn't near to that effect. I mean, the car did launch up off of a curb, did spin around. It didn't clear the wall. The car didn't blow up in real life, which I kind of saw a parallel to Roman Grosjean's crash in 2020. It kind of makes sense that he comes out of it, but like Cole said, that car exploded, so it's kind of like, eh. Um, I did kind of mention this to Landon while we were watching the movie. I wish that they would have highlighted more historic tracks rather than like we got Hungary, which has been on the calendar for a while, and then we got
Spa was cool too.
Spa, but I told Landon we got Spa for about 5 minutes, which I get. They made contact. Sonny's race was over, so we kind of glazed over it. But I wish we could have gotten uh, something like Monza, which we did get Monza, but like if we could have gotten like Imola would have been cool. More of Suzuka would have been cool. I just feel like we kind of picked Las Vegas because it's shiny and new, but I mean, most F1 fans know that that track is not great. The Las Vegas Grand Pig because the layout looks like a pig. Um, I also wasn't really a fan of uh the romance storyline, him and the technical director, I thought it kind of diminished her role a little bit. Um, because women in motorsports a big deal right now. Like the I think it's a technical director for Red Bull is a woman, and she's amazing at her job. So I found that kind of to be unnecessary. I kind of got why they did it, but at the same time, I was like, it kind of made her character a little one dimensional. But other than that, I didn't really find anything to complain about that much, other than the fact that Sonny Hayes is almost 60 years old driving a Formula One car. I was like, "Ooh, I don't know
Yeah.
about that," but other than that, I mean, I loved it. I loved every second of it.
Yeah. Yeah, me as well. Yeah, so I guess I mean we've all talked about it a good bit. I think we can kind of jump into ratings now. I'm definitely know that I'm gonna be higher than both of y'all. I'm not as like picky when it comes to the F1 stuff as Avery and um I don't know. I had the most fun I think in this movie than I have had all year. Um, Even like with Mission Impossible, it's like it's got those two incredible sequences, but like Landon, like we've talked about, like that first hour is just weird and it kind of throws you off. This whole movie, like from start to finish, I was locked in. When it starts off with him in Daytona, so cool. Um, I'm glad it didn't like just jump directly into F1. It was like, all right, how are we going to get there? Um, yeah, dude. I mean, from start to finish, it is. I will say, I will play devil's advocate here. It is an extremely cliche, stereotypical feel good sports story for the most part. It's just with the sport that we love. So we're a little more biased towards it. But I don't know, dude. I had a phenomenal time. I had so much fun. My theater was hooting and hollering, and uh, I think from everything from the director to the score and the soundtrack, and then the acting was good across the board. It looked great. It sounded great. The sound editing was unreal. Um, I think it was just a borderline like perfect action slash sports movie, whatever you want to call it. Um, it's my number one on the year. I did give it 5 stars. I literally have it at a 9.8. That's how much fun I had with it. It was almost up there to me. I would say like Top Gun is probably like the best action movie of this decade. Um, but I think this is like right there with it, and the fact it's the same director, like it just goes to show. But I know not everyone is probably going to be that high, but that's just me being biased because I also just love F1 and so glad we finally got like a real deal movie about like modern F1 racing. It was just so cool. Um, and it was just an awesome story. I loved all the characters. I love the score. Um, like I said, I did have those two little complaints, but at the end of the day, like you got to make a movie and you got to have a villain and you got to make things dramatic with the crash and the car catching on fire and whatever. So I can look past that stuff and like I've told Landon, like I do my rankings based on like pure enjoyment, rewatchability. Is this a better movie than something like I don't know, like Sinners or Warfare? Probably not, but it's just like what I have more fun with. And this is like the most fun movie of the year. So 9.8 for me, very very high. I really don't know what is going to top that. Only thing I can think of is maybe like weapons or something. We'll have to see. But yeah, Wilk, what'd you go with?
Yeah, so I wanted to give it 5 stars. I really did. There was just a couple things that, like I said, I was picky about, and I knew I was trying not to be picky going into this movie, but I knew I was going to try to be. You are right. It's like every sports cliche movie, but sometimes that's not a bad thing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I still gave it 4.5 stars though. It is up there. I put it at number 3 for the year, so it's right there. I gave it a 9.4. It's right there, right on the edge of 5 stars. I thought there were some just amazing parts of this movie that might be, up there with how I felt watching Top Gun Maverick and, this year watching Sinners and Warfare. There were definitely parts of that. There were just a couple parts that I didn't love that are not going to make me give it 5 stars. But rewatchability, it's probably up there at the top of the list for this year. So yeah, 4.5 stars, 9.4. It's right on the edge. I wanted to give it 5 stars, but just a couple things that I didn't like. But hey, I will take a 9 for F1 movie every freaking day of the year. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen as many movies as these other two guys. I think I've seen maybe two or three this year so far. So it kind of by default is going to get number one on my list just because it's just right up my wheelhouse. It's a sport that I love that takes up pretty much all my time at the moment. I'm gonna give it a 9 flat. There are a couple nitpicky things, but like nothing to where it would make me drop my rating by 2 whole points. So yeah, I'll give it a 9 flat.
Yeah, dude, high praise from the boys. This is a damn good movie. I would say like, average score wise, Wilk, this is like our highest of the year.
yeah, probably.
In regards to, average score, other than I think Sinners would probably be up there for second. But I mean a 9.8, 9.4, and a 9, like that's awesome. We all three of it just absolutely loved it. Everyone needs to go check it out. It's doing really well at the box office, and since F1 is a worldwide sport, I think it's going to continue to make a whole lot of money. I don't know if this is something I ever really need a sequel with, but we'll see. Maybe it just opens up the door for more F1 movies.
Yeah,
We'll just kind of have to see. But yeah, dude, super high praise from all three of us for F1. Um, Everyone go check it out. I'm going to watch it again next week with Dad when I'm home for the break. So
love that.
um, very, very good stuff. Avery, thank you for joining us and giving us your F1 nerd thoughts. But
Everybody be
now,
on your toes for the Keanu Reeves F1 documentary
oh yeah, I did
I
see. I
forgot
about
about
forgot
that.
about that. I
about
forgot about
about Braun GP. If you guys want to figure out how Mercedes got as good as they were,
that.
check that out.
Mm.
My boy
All
Jensen
right,
Button.
we'll have to tune in. But so yeah, that is our review for F1, and then now we are going to jump in to a sports movie draft in honor of F1. All right, so now we are going to jump into our sports movie draft. Like we said, in honor of F1. This is essentially a sports movie. Um, so, yeah, it's really, I mean, is it honestly like the only sports movie that we're getting this year that I can think of off the top of my head? Other than that, like horror movie.
Yeah, you get him,
Um,
but that's about it, probably.
yeah, yeah. So, perfect time to do a sports movie draft. We love sports, so we love movies. So, let's talk about some sports movies. So, we're going to do 4 picks each. Snake draft. I already did the order. So with first pick, it's going to be Landon, and then Avery, and then me. And it's going to snake back and forth until we have 4 each. So, Landon, without further ado, what are you going to go with for 1-1?
Yeah, y'all probably both know what I'm gonna go here. Um, I'm a big, big, big baseball fan. There are a lot of baseball movies I could go here. But the one that I just love so much because it's like the background and what goes on behind the scenes is Moneyball with Brad Pitt, Jonah Hill. I think it is really cool how they kind of go behind the scenes and GM and manager and all that. There's some technical aspects, almost like Avery with F1. In this one, that the A's were not, they had 3 Cy Young candidates on their team. They had some really good players on their team. But at the end of the day, this movie is very good, showing you kind of the behind the scenes stuff. And I think Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill were fantastic in this movie. So Brad Pitt gets 1-1 again. So, Brad Pitt, you're the GOAT. Sports movies.
Hey
Let's
man,
go.
he's good. He's good at sports movies, man.
Yeah.
Bang! So my first pick is also a racing movie. And it is Ford versus Ferrari
You
with Matt
bastard.
Great
Damon,
pick.
Christian Bale,
Great
John
pick.
Bernthal. It's a great movie that highlights the history of American auto racing, essentially, and them Ford getting embarrassed by Ferrari on the public stage with them basically getting called fat, ugly, dumb Americans, and they take it to Ferrari, prove them wrong, and win 4 straight. R.I.P. Kim Miles. So yeah,
Yeah.
1-2.
HAPPY.
I'm
I'm
HAPPY.
HAPPY.
Great
Nah,
movie.
dude. When you said racing, I slick thought you were about to go with something else because I was going to take Ford versus Ferrari with my number
Great
one
pick.
pick.
Great pick.
So screw you there. I'm not. Let me see. I gotta readjust here. Um, I got another. Yeah, this is a good first round pick. It's part of a franchise. It was kind of the revitalization of a franchise. I'm going to go with the first Creed. It's a
Mm,
boxing movie,
good
sports movie.
one.
Love it.
Um,
Yeah, it's big.
I think, I mean, obviously you can go all the Rockies. All of the Rockies are obviously great. Especially like I think Rocky Four stands out, but I just I think Creed is one of the best. I mean, boxing is a sport, so I think
Yep.
it's one of the best sports movies or boxing movies ever. I still literally get chills every single time I watch it. Michael B. Jordan, I feel like that's the movie that really launched his career and really launched Ryan Coogler's career as well. You got Rocky back in the fold as well. I literally just get chills every time I watch that movie. So I'm with my first pick. Um, I'm gonna go with the first Creed.
It's good.
Um, Let me cross that off. So let's see. Let's see. I have a couple other really solid ones. I was gonna maybe go Rocky. Um, I'm gonna go with a wild pick here, and I don't know if y'all are gonna. I think it counts. It's just technically a sports movie. It's a racing movie. You know what it is?
I think I
I'm gonna
know.
kill you if I think I know what it is. If
It's
it's
my
gonna,
favorite animated movie of all
Yeah,
time.
okay, no, I'm good.
yeah,
I'm gonna go with Cars.
yeah. No, that counts. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
Cars is
yeah,
my
that for sure
favorite
counts.
animated movie ever. I would be kidding myself if I didn't take this in a sports movie draft. Racing's a sport. It's just an animated sports movie. So I'm gonna go with Cars. I honestly don't know if anything will ever top Cars for me animation wise. And it really is a good sports story. Like at the end of the day as well. So um, just because it's animated, that doesn't take away from it. It's still a very exciting movie and it's got some awesome races. And yeah, shout out Lightning McQueen. I'm gonna go with Cars.
Critico Blue.
Dinoco.
Kachiga, Kachiga.
My next pick is also a racing movie, and it is Rush.
That's what I thought you were
It's
gonna take.
just a beautiful movie highlighting one of the most iconic rivalries in Formula One history with James Hunt and Niki Lauda. I mean, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. I just can't get over it. It's just amazing. Really, I just no words can explain it. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It is beautiful. Great movie.
It's a good
Yep.
pick. Good pick. Avery taking all the racing movies. Let's see. Okay, so my second pick. Um, I kind of want to do a diversity of like sports. Like I don't want to do just one sport. But I love my baseball movies. Okay, now I'm gonna go with one. I don't know if it'll make it back around. Now this might not be like the best like actual movie ever made, but it might be the most quotable on this list, and that's Happy Gilmore with Adam Sandler. That movie,
I had it
I don't
written down.
care. Like I could go with a lot. I could go with bench warmers here. I could go semi pro here. I could go with a lot of those. But Happy Gilmore is the one that I quote religiously. Y'all both know I love this movie. It is funny. We're getting a sequel this year. I'm so excited. Adam Sandler just kills it as Happy Gilmore. It's hilarious. That jacket belongs to Mr. Gilmore. No, great movie. So that'll be my number two pick. My number three pick, I think I would be really stupid and dumb to myself if I didn't pick this. It's another baseball movie, and it's gonna be 42 with Chadwick Boseman. He is. I don't think you can get a better actor to play someone as iconic as Jackie Robinson and what he went through and what he did for the sport of baseball. He is an iconic athlete. He is awesome. Chadwick Boseman, man, it sucks that we don't have him around anymore. But man, 42 is like the when you think of like a biopic, sports biopic, I think 42 has to be at the top of the list. He is incredible in that movie, and that movie is so good. It's so good. And it actually like I don't know, it just really captures like the sport as a whole and how much has changed since then too. So, very a movie that needed to be made too. So, I'm going to go 42 with my third pick.
Yep, I like that pick.
Love it. For my third pick, some people don't necessarily consider it a sport, but I consider it a sport, and I know a lot of people around the world consider it a sport. My next pick is going to be the Iron Claw.
Yeah.
It is a
Great pick.
beautiful movie
Great pick.
highlighting one of the greatest family dynasties in the world of wrestling. Um, it's just a great movie that really highlights on what that family went through and how iconic they were and still are. But yeah, I just great movie. Need to see it again.
Yeah. Just
Yeah. No,
yeah,
I
like
actually have not watched it since we all saw it together. I keep trying to get my dad to watch it, but he's scared to watch it because he kind of he's heard the story before. Um, yeah, dude, unreal movie. It's still pissed Zac Efron didn't at least get a nomination for that. All right, so back to me for my third and then fourth pick back to back. Um, so I have Creed and Cars. Um, I'm gonna go with an MMA movie. It's probably my favorite like MMA movie I've ever seen, and every time I watched it, I just get hit with the feels. And that's Warrior. You guys have seen Warrior, right? With Tom Hardy and Joel Edgerton. Um, Avery, you haven't?
I have not.
Wilk, you've seen it. You definitely
Mhm.
have, right?
Mhm.
Unreal movie. Really, really good performance from both Joel Edgerton and Tom Hardy. I think they're like brothers who both used to wrestle, but then they both stopped because Edgerton's character like had a family, so he wanted to be with his family. But then Tom Hardy's character like I think got into drugs and alcohol or something,
Yeah.
and then I forgot who their dads was. I think it was like Nick Nolte or something. Unreal movie. I literally almost cry at the ending every time I see it. I love that movie. Um, Avery, I highly recommend you give it a watch. So I had to go with like a more serious, emotional
Yeah.
movie as well. Um, to go with Cars. And then for my final pick, there's a couple different routes I could go here. We'll talk honorable mentions at the end. Um, so I have a boxing movie, I have Cars, and I have an MMA movie. Um, it's tough. This is tough. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with. I think this is considered a football movie. It's a little bit more kind of like Moneyball, where it's not necessarily exactly about you know players. It's just about like the management of sports, and that is Jerry Maguire with
Okay.
Tom Cruise.
Okay.
He plays a sports agent in that movie for I think it's is it Cuba Gooding Jr. I believe that plays the football player. I can't remember, but I mean that is a sports movie. He starts his own like sports agency and signs. I believe it's Cuba Gooding Jr. I'll get the check on that in a minute. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I've always loved that movie. And then it's also kind of like a romance movie at the same time, but then it's also a lot of cool sports stuff in it as well. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna close out my list with Jerry Maguire.
Okay.
Have y'all seen it? Y'all didn't really say anything.
I don't think
I
I
seen it a long
have.
time ago. I don't remember much of it.
Very solid movie. It's been a
Yeah.
couple years since I've seen it too.
Yeah.
All right,
My
back to Avery.
my final pick. I've kind of stayed on the more serious side with my first three. Uh, my final pick is going to be Dodgeball, a
I have
true
that written
underdog
down.
story.
God, that's a
It
good one.
is such a good movie, so quotable.
Yeah.
Vince Vince Vaughn is amazing in it. I just, it's awesome. Ben Stiller plays one of, if not the funniest antagonists in a movie. Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Uh, it's just anytime it's on TV, I turn it on, I sit down and watch it. It makes me laugh. Still to this day, I've probably seen it 150 times, but I just there's something about it. It's so good. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
That's absolutely right. Yeah,
Amen.
that's a great movie. That's a great movie. Dude, so with my last pick kind of rounding out the draft, let me just tell you, there are so many we're about to say. So don't think like we didn't draft it. Why is this not on here? Why is this not on here? Just wait, like it'll probably be in our honorable mentions. Just missed out. I thought about what I wanted to go here. There was a football movie I thought about picking. I'm not gonna go that way though. There was like six baseball movies I could have gone. There was a basketball movie I could have gone, but we're gonna take it to the ice, and we're gonna put Miracle on this list because I think
Oh,
we would
dude,
be
I didn't
doing
even
it a
think about
disservice
Miracle.
if it was not on this list. Still, just one of the best like true underdog stories ever. They were not supposed to even be on the same ice as the Russian team that year, and every time Kurt Russell tells me that we're gonna, you got a chance, go out there and give it your all, do it your best, like you are gonna go win this. It makes me think that I can go play hockey, even though I know I would bust my ass in about half a second. So Miracle has to be in this draft, and I think that's a strong fourth pick. I love it, and I know I haven't seen it in probably 5 or 6 years, but I will definitely be going back and watching it, and had to have hockey on here. So
I
yeah,
hate myself for not thinking about that. That one completely slipped my
yeah,
mind. I run
there
down
were,
like a list of everything I could think of real quick before we started.
yeah,
Miracle is probably like the best
yeah.
pure sports movie on this list. Like,
Yeah, no, it is
wow,
like
what
the
a great
greatest.
pick at four.
Yeah, it's
What a
sick.
steal.
I was kind of shocked it got there.
I just forgot about it, dude. I would have
Yeah,
taken that probably pick number two.
but some because I guess it was some honorable mentions that I missed out, like Coach Carter. I think is incredible with Samuel L. Jackson. Baseball movies I could go Rookie of the Year, Major League, Bench Warmers, The Sandlot, all great movies. The football movie obviously is Remember the Titans. I mean that's iconic. I think it's a little overrated, but I know
A
people
little.
absolutely love that movie. And then I actually had another one that I almost thought about taking just to see what you would say, but I was almost going to take Challengers at four,
no,
just
I
to
thought
be
about
a little
taking it
bit
as
different.
well.
So, yeah.
No,
Avery, any ones that you can think of that maybe missed?
Uh, Nobody took any of the Rockies, or Cole took the first Rocky, didn't you?
I
To
took
Creed.
Creed.
Creed. So I mean, all the Rockies were still up for grabs. Creed 2 and Creed 3 are both amazing. Um, what's it called? Invincible with Mark Wahlberg, where he makes it onto the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh
That's a
yeah,
pretty good movie.
yeah,
The Longest Yard, either
Yep.
one.
Yep.
yeah,
Um, what else? I mean,
Yeah.
there's just so many to choose from.
I had a couple comedies as well. To piggyback off Longest Yard, another Adam Sandler movie. Um, um, Waterboy. I was thinking about taking Waterboy, Bobby Boucher. Also got Talladega Nights.
yeah.
Yep.
I just didn't take it because already took Cars, took another racing movie, and Avery took two. So, but Talladega Nights is just hilarious. It's probably the funniest movie on this list, I think, in my opinion. But yeah, Rocky, Bench Warmers is hilarious. Um, there's a lot, man. There's a lot of good sports movies, different sports. But what I have realized, like I was talking to you about it earlier, Will, there's just really not a ton of great football movies, which is kind of wild. There's a
Yeah.
couple really solid basketball movies, like you got Coach Carter and you got Hoosiers, like Love and Basketball, movies like that.
Hoop
But
Dreams.
yeah, there's just really not a ton of football movies, which is crazy. We're getting one this year. It's going to be a horror movie, so we'll have
Yeah.
to see how that works. But yeah, like you said, Remember the Titans is probably the most iconic, and I think it's a little overrated as
Don't get me
well.
wrong, it's still a good movie. Like I definitely can turn it on and watch it. I mean, it's got Denzel in it. How could you not? But like, I do think it's a little overrated. Yeah, but like, I guess you could go like Friday Night Lights or Varsity Blues or something like
Yep.
that too. So I
Yeah.
mean, there's some other ones, but no, I want like a good like professional. But I guess we could have picked the game plan too. I kind of forgot about that as well. So,
I
but no,
also thought about Gridiron Gang, that
yeah,
movie with
I want a
Tony
good like
Johnson.
professional football movie. Maybe with like the success of F1, maybe we can get something like that. But
Yeah, that'd be very cool. So I'll go over the list one more time, and then Landon, you can close out with as we always do, and we can see what Avery's been watching too. But um, so Landon, your list is Moneyball, Happy Gilmore, 42, and Miracle. Avery's got Ford vs Ferrari, Rush, The Iron Claw, and Dodgeball. And then I went with Creed, Cars, Warrior, and Jerry Maguire. Um, three really solid lists. I think Landon won this draft with his final pick. Personally, we'll just kind of see what people think, but they're all three great. They're just all very different. You can tell Avery's definitely more of a racing guy, but I like how we all have a comedy as well. I have Cars. Landon's got Happy Gilmore. You got Dodgeball. So yeah, three solid lists. That was fun. I wish we got more sports movies, man. Like what we got two
Amen.
this year, and one of them's a horror movie.
Yeah.
So
what are y'all's thoughts about the UFC movie that's coming out with Dwayne Johnson? I forget who he's playing in it.
Smashing Machine.
Yeah,
It looks cool. I
Yeah.
don't know.
it
I
looked
think
yeah.
I
it's gonna
almost
be the me and Landon have talked about it. I think it's gonna be the first test to see if Dwayne Johnson can really act.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much actual fighting is in it because it makes it seem like it's a lot more of like his personal life, which there's nothing wrong with that because Iron Claw was kind of like that too. Yeah, but Cole is absolutely right. Can Dwayne the Rock Johnson act? We will see.
Yeah, and then apparently, speaking of UFC, Avery, it just popped in my head when you said that. Zack Snyder's directing a UFC movie soon too. So um, UFC's definitely like been on the come up the last couple of years. So
I
I
just
definitely see that.
I also just thought of a movie that I'm surprised none of us took, which was Southpaw.
Oh,
Yeah, no. I
I
didn't take Southpaw because I
honestly
took Warrior.
I
But
honestly kind of forgot about that movie. I can't lie. Very
great
good
movie.
movie though.
I am phenomenal.
No.
Um, yeah, so three really solid lists there. We love sports, we love movies, we love sports movies. So, um, yeah, that was a fun draft in honor of F1. Everybody go check out F1. And then as me and Landon do with every week, just kind of briefly go over some stuff we've been watching. Mine's more funny. Outside of the stuff me and Landon have already talked about in F1, I have binged almost the entirety of the season of Love Island to get caught up. I think I've watched like 20 something episodes in the last couple days. Uh,
Jeez.
oh,
it is just ridiculous, dude. But I can't stop watching. It's so entertaining, but it's just so bad. But I can't stop watching. I'm honestly a little embarrassed, but it's okay. I'm able to talk to a lot of people at work about it, and it's fun to talk about. So that's really all I've been watching outside of The Bear and Ironheart and F1. Um, yeah. What about you guys?
yeah, so obviously I saw 28 Years Later this week. Obviously Stick, The Bear, Ironheart and everything. But Cameron has recently got into on Apple TV The Morning Show with Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon. I decided to just sit down and watch it with her when she's watching it. I actually don't mind it. It's actually I kind of like the story that's going on with it. And Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon are very good looking as well. So yeah, it's been pretty good. And I'm going to see Elio on Tuesday. Very excited to check Elio out before the 4th of July weekend. So, Avery, anything you've been watching?
Uh, Finished The Bear the night it came out. Probably need to rewatch it, honestly, or at least an episode or two to make sure I fully got everything. Uh, Nothing new currently. I'm currently rewatching Band of Brothers. Almost done with it. I plan to watch I believe it's called Becoming Led Zeppelin that just came out on
Mhm.
Netflix. Um, Watched F1. I mean, other than that, I've been on a tear recently of trying to watch movies that have come out in the past that I haven't seen that I've been wanting to watch. But other than that, not much.
Me and
Love
Avery
it.
did watch Ratatouille today for its 18th birthday. We
We
did do
did.
that. Yep.
How many times
Anyone
do you
can
think you've
cook.
seen that movie?
I've watched it 4 times this year already. It should be a
Love it.
national holiday. It's
Love it.
absolutely
Avery,
should be.
you saying Band of Brothers made me think. Have you ever watched the Pacific, which is their other show. Is that show
Yeah,
good?
yeah.
I've not watched it.
I honestly, I don't want to say I like the Pacific more. I find I find the storyline in the Pacific a little more intriguing because I feel like you get more of a look at each guy or of each character. I don't really want to say character, of each person, what they kind of go through. So I feel like the Pacific is more of an in-depth look of the soldiers themselves, whereas Band of Brothers is more so of the combat itself. Granted, there is like you do still kind of get attached to the guys in Band of Brothers, but I feel like in the Pacific you get more attached because it's more focused on them rather than the war.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I'll definitely. I've That's been on my watch list for years. I want to get started on that soon. But um, yeah, I guess that's a good place to wrap it up on our end. Avery, we'd like to thank you again for joining. Glad you got to talk some F1 with us. If there's ever anything else you want to hop on for, feel free. Next week, Wilk, what we got? So we're gonna talk. We're gonna both be done with the Bear. We're gonna both be done with Ironheart.
Yep.
Hopefully, try to be caught up on Stick. Maybe even get started on that other show, Smoke, on Apple TV. We'll have to see. I
Yep.
might be caught up on Squid Game. And then we got Jurassic World. Are you
We
seeing?
got
What day are
Jurassic
you
World.
seeing Jurassic World?
So I'll be out of town, but I think the people like her family wants to go see it one night. We don't know what night yet, so we'll probably go see it like I don't know. I think Thursday night is kind of what they've been saying. So hopefully Thursday night. But yeah, Jurassic World, and then rolls right into Superman, and I could not be more excited for Superman. I mean, I am all in, all freaking in.
Yep, I got my tickets for Superman at the Lincoln Square. So
Uh,
I was up here.
As a
very
pure
very
buddy.
eyes up here, eyes
But
up here.
yeah, man. Episode 25. We appreciate you guys watching. Like Cole said, Avery, thank you for coming to be our F1 guy. We really appreciate it. And as always, like and subscribe. Let us know any shows or movies that you want us to like review or look over or anything like that. And we've been pumping out shorts, been pumping out TikTok, so make sure to go follow us on TikTok, Twitter, be friends with LetterBoxd, and all that good stuff. But we will see you next week for Jurassic World. Very excited. We will see. We will see. You got anything to say?
And through goes Hamilton.